Hello and welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. So in today's video we're going to talk about the Vedic New Year. Now in the Sidereal zodiac, currently that is taking place in the sign of Pisces. Now as the precession of equinoxes go backwards, the next time eventually it will be in Aquarius, and then after that it'll be in Capricorn. But the idea is that it's not fixed. So currently it's in Pisces, and this year, 2020, it is at 10 degrees of Pisces in the nakshatra called Uttara Bhadrapada. Now this is the warrior star. It gives great oratory skills, very good organizers. They organize their mind and their speaking abilities. And these people are able to communicate a vision. This is very important in Pisces. Pisces does have a tendency to fantasize, but here they can actually get things done. The planet that rules this nakshatra is Saturn. So we see that the idea of having patience is very much prominent here. And, I feel like, we also need to pay attention to the fact that Pisces in Vedic is ruled by Jupiter. And so seeing how Jupiter is the guru and the teacher, these people make actually great professors. They can really delve deep into the subjects, because the symbol is the serpent of the deep. Ahir Budanya is the deity, and he, represents kind of, the mermaid energy, the merman energy of Pisces. And also, because it's a serpent, poison is associated with this nakshatra as well. And right now Rahu is in Ardra, transiting, and so this indicates diseases through poison as well. So it's no coincidence that we're dealing with coronavirus right now, and actually a lot of it is the fear of it. And I feel like this is definitely a shadow that's going to go over us for the next year. On this day, we also have a Kalasarpa Yoga. This means that all of the planets are between the north and south nodes of the moon, called Rahu and Ketu, and this gives everything a faded quality. So, the things that are transpiring right now are really going to, for the next year, hold a shadow over us, where we are going to have to clean ourselves out. And because all of the planets are on one half, we have to pay attention to the opposite signs, especially because today it's in Pisces. The sign of Virgo, charts with Virgo heavy, are going to be affected. So I pulled up the charts of the United States and of China, and so let's take a look at the Pisces New Moon for the Vedic New Year of 2020 with the United States and China. Okay, so now let's take a look at the March New Moon for 2020, which is the Pisces New Moon. And this is the Vedic New Year, so this will set the pace for the next year. So let's do a screen share. And let's take a look at the chart. So here we have Sun and Moon at 10 degrees, 4 minutes of Uttara Bhadrapada in Pisces. So automatically, we want to look at Virgo. There's no planets there. And actually, we're in a Kalasarpa Yoga, which means all of the planets are between Rahu and Ketu. But the charts, like the country's charts, the personal charts, that have planets in Virgo are going to be affected especially. And I thought it was interesting that China, which I have as October 1st, 1949 in Beijing, they have 4 planets in Virgo. So that is Sun, Mercury retrograde, Neptune, and Ketu. Now it's interesting that the full moon taking place tomorrow, because today's March 8th, we have Sun and Mercury retrograde and Neptune all conjunct, but it's in Aquarius. In a way, it's kind of a foreshadowing of what's to come with the new moon, coming up. And look here, they've got their Rahu in Pisces in Revati, which is the most spiritual nakshatra. So yeah, I really feel that, China, especially information that has been withheld concerning deception, lies, deceit, is going to come out, especially over the next year. Going back to this chart again, we see that the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. And Jupiter is still at the very last degree of Sagittarius. Still in his own sign, so that's good. So, maybe ultimately there will be a triumph. But it's not going to be easy, because everything that happens in a Kala Sarpa Yoga is destined. There's a fated quality to it, and it can be pretty heavy. And this is the serpent. Kala Sarpa Yoga means time, serpent, connection. So, Rahu's an Ardra. Rahu is, the mouth of the serpent, and he also indicates disease. And Ardra is the part of Gemini that indicates poisons. So having Jupiter opposite, conjunct Ketu, it's a pretty wide orb, let's say. It's, he's at the very end, but they're still in the same sign, okay? And having Jupiter opposite Rahu at this time. Our medical professionals, our medical professors are going to be pushed to their limit trying to find the vaccination for this. I've heard that they're pretty close now, but who knows if we are getting the truth in the media. But, let's not forget we've got Saturn, Mars, Pluto, all in Uttara Ashada, which is Ganesha's nakshatra. And, there is no success without Ganesha's blessing. He is the elephant trunk, sweeping away the obstacles, clearing the path, making it available for success. So, yeah, I think ultimately we will triumph from this. But it's going to have a real heaviness to it. Now, looking at the United States chart, we see that we have several planets in Gemini, and Rahu is still there. One of our planets, actually 2, Venus and Jupiter are both in Ardra. So having that in the Pisces New Year chart, a conjunct Rahu is significant. I feel like spiritual leaders in particular are going to be held accountable for the words that they speak now. In the US chart, also Mercury is retrograde. And we are out of Mercury retrograde. Thank goodness. It goes direct on the 9th. So by the 24th, we're going to be pretty much out of the shadow, which is good. But you know, for the United States chart, we have our moon there, where Mercury and Neptune are. So, you know, there's so much ugliness right now with political speech and attacks and all of that, of course, with the president's election coming up. So I really feel like that heaviness is going to be felt here in Aquarius. You know, that's the sign of humanitarianism and the community, and so that element's going to be there as well. But going back to the US chart, we see that we have Saturn and Neptune in Virgo, and that's going to be opposite the Pisces New Moon. And it's neither one is close to 10 degrees, but still, I mean, it's sitting right between it. It's in our 10th house of career. You know, the economy is going to take a hit. It already has. And, you know, we were getting ready to go over 30,000 on the Dow Jones average. And as soon as the coronavirus hit, dropped down to, I think we're now at 25. So that's even a bigger loss than 2008. So I feel like for the United States, where we're going to feel it the most is, you know, manufacturing, career. And it's not just career, but recognition of career. You know, I feel like especially oil. Saturn is things underground, so that indicates oil, but Neptune is also oil. So oil prices are definitely going to be affected this year by the coronavirus and the stock market crashing. Yeah. Now here's the thing, though. You know, we've got this tight Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. It's going to be coming up. They're going to be conjunct in June, then they both go retrograde, and then they'll be conjunct again by December. And this time they'll be at, like, I think 6 degrees of Capricorn. And so in the US charts, that is the second house of money. So having both of those planets conjunct K2 and Pluto retrograde, you know, we're definitely going to take a hit, but I feel like it's going to be a game changer for us, and the economy will eventually rebound and be stronger. And yeah, that's what I'm getting from this here in the second house. Now, you know, second house here is a Marka house, which means a killer house as well. So definitely there's going to be, I mean, we've already had so many deaths in the United States, but having Pluto retrograde in our birth chart and having Pluto there now, I mean, this is a Pluto return, so there's definitely going to, you know, the fear factor is there. You know, they're just really trying to amp up the anxiety surrounding this virus outbreak. And if we remember back to 1983, when Rahu was in Ardra last time, or rather, I mean, 2001 was when it was there last time, but before that, it was 1983. And that's when HIV came out. And, you know, I was alive then, and I remember the fear that people had. They didn't know how it was spread. And so people were afraid to use public bathrooms, you know, because they were afraid they're going to get it. And that's kind of where we're at right now, because they don't really know how it's being spread. And so, you know, there's a lot of mystery around this. And that really is the Neptune-Mercury conjunction. And having that with our moon, that just adds a whole other layer, dimension of anxiety, psychic, spiritual anxiety. But that's the thing about viruses, you know, they clean you out. And Pluto also rules viruses because it's the power of the small. Pluto is the smallest planet. And it's like the power of the hidden. Like when Pluto was discovered, the mafia was discovered. And so it's the power and authority of the hidden. And I feel like all of these issues about where we're giving our authority to, should we be afraid of what we hear on the news, you know, that kind of thing is all coming into focus at this time. And so this whole next year is going to have this feeling to it. So I hope that helps. And, you know, of course, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to contact me. You know, you can sign up for my readings on my website, which is HindustanAstrology.com. And the link is below in the comments. And I hope to see you soon at some upcoming events. Thank you. Namaste.